Greetings and salutations to all of you lovely, fluffy, non-fluffy, and every other type of listener out there. Thank you for tuning in to the KittyFoxCast. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and I'm so glad that I get to sit down and have a conversation with you, and we're here having a good time, and being able to be in each other's presence is very important for fellowship. So I'm glad that, I get to do this and I get to enjoy everyone's company here. And yeah, it's honestly a blessing to be able to take the time and just relax with you and just be there, be there as a voice, if nothing else, as a voice for you. And we'll call this, it may be very one-sided, but I feel it to be an important element to the week, because otherwise there would be another way that I could connect with you, aside from streams and YouTube videos and such. But I'm very much enjoying this medium, and I'm glad we have this outlet together. So, how is everybody? I hope you're having a lovely week so far, and I hope that you're having a beautiful start to February, the second month in the year already. Can't believe we're here, Was not that long ago that we were, in fact, celebrating the new year with friends and enjoying ourselves, and just, looking forward to see what 2025 has in store for us. So I hope that your year is continuing to be that of a successful and productive one, and that your goals are well underway, and whatever season of life that you find yourself in, I just want to remind you that it is 100% worth it. You are where you should be right now. You're where you're supposed to be, and as hard as that may sound, I just want you to know that in order to get to where you're going, in order to achieve the goal that you want, you need to be in some places that you may not particularly like to be in, Just like anything else that takes work or time or effort, this particular place in your life, this particular space that you find yourself in, the season that you have right now, is where you're meant to be. And it may not be ideal, it may not be exactly what you're hoping for, but that doesn't mean that you won't get to where you need to be someday in the future. So I'm pulling for you. I know you can do it. I know you can make it. And whatever that looks like for you, because it looks different for everybody, but whatever that looks like for you, I just want you to know that you can hold on just a little bit longer, and pretty soon you will be in the place that you hope to be. And if not, you're going to find yourself maybe in a fully different place that you never expected to be. And I know that that's going to be worth it. It's going to be so worth it when you get to where you're going, So that's one of the things I want to talk about today is finding yourself in a space. I have been kind of struggling lately, and like I said, I'm going to be honest with you all. I have been kind of struggling lately, particularly in the way of careers. I have been questioning whether or not the place that I am right now, currently at my current place of employment, is where I need to be. And of course, it's where I should be right now in order to find my way through to the next step. But I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers today, and this coworker was talking about going back to school and getting certifications for a particular field that they have been interested in for quite a while. And I thought to myself, like, wow, that's a big step for you. And by the way, I just want to mention that this coworker is, I want to say, one of the last people I expected it from, but somebody that I certainly did not expect to hear that from. told me that today, and it got me thinking, like, you know, I went to school, I got my certification, I got a bachelor's degree, yet I'm doing nothing with it. And ever since I took on this current job that I've been in, that is a livable job, it's definitely something that pays the bills, it's something that's stable for the most part. It's been bothering me that I have not really taken the time to like apply the education that I got and that I learned and the certifications that I got to a career. And that's not to say that you have to do that. I want to iterate very clearly. This is not me advocating for any sort of college or university education. This is not me saying that you should drop everything and, follow your dream or follow your ambition or whatever the case may be, because it looks different for everybody. You know, everybody has a different path, but I'm just saying, speaking for my case, like I have been thinking a lot lately about career change once again, and I just want to also iterate, as some of you may know, I have changed careers within the past, I'll say like 5 to 10 years, multiple times. Like I worked in the recycling industry, then I worked in warehousing, then I worked in mental health, and then I worked in technical arts, like technical arts being like sound mixing, light programming, and stage production, roadie type work, that kind of thing. And then I circled my way back to warehousing and recycling. So there's definitely a lot of career paths in my background, and I'm going to be honest with you, every single one has ended around this time, this particular time frame. It's usually around, I want to say like 1 to 3 years, like somewhere between, let's say 1.5 to 3 years, I have thought about changing jobs. And I think the easy answer to that is just the fact that I've been bored. I've gotten bored with the work that I'm doing. Excuse me, the work that I'm doing. And I think that's a good thing in a way. Like the fact that you are bored easily because of a job or because of a career, it probably means that you're being told something. You're being told something very strongly about your path. Maybe there's something in you that's telling you that you need to move on. It's time to move on to something else. Maybe it's that career that you had previously. Maybe it's something completely different. Maybe it's, a passion that you never even knew about that you'd like to try out. Maybe it's something deeper, like maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to go off and make a difference in the world, by like going off to a different country and making the lives better for the people of those countries. Whatever the case is, and it doesn't have to be that extravagant. It could just be as simple as maybe you got that big corporate job or that big management position and you're not happy and you want to, I don't want to say backtrack, but you want something a little more simple. You want something a little more straightforward and to the point, or something that's going to make you happier, or something that's going to make you feel like you're making a difference, So having a conversation with this coworker, and also listening to someone, a public speaker that I follow. I'm not going to say his name just for his privacy because he's not really a very public person, but he, like, public as far as like social media is concerned. But this speaker talked about it's good to not be lazy, and it's good to have ambition and to have that fire burning within you. And what he means is lazy people are not called to good work. And if you have that fire and that passion within you to do something, you should do it, or you should look into the steps to getting to that point. And that really resonated with me. I was like, well, I don't particularly think of myself as a lazy person. At least I don't. I hope I'm not a lazy person. And I've had this fire feeling for the past few months. Maybe it is finally time for a change. So I immediately started searching up jobs. I started looking into any position that I could get that would let me in with my credentials, my psychology degree, you know? And the problem with that I ran into was a lot of these jobs require like 1 to 2 years of experience on top of your degree. And I will say that on some level that is true. Like, experience does not, like, degrees don't get you jobs. Oftentimes experience does. So that can be another roadblock that we find in any career or whatever we plan to do with our lives, is building up that rapport, um, I guess, portfolio of our lives and our working lives. And overall, just finding the place that will give you that chance, whether that's an internship or a place that will train you up in a certain way to do something, and then move you on to greater things. Um, Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes it takes a sometimes it just takes that this first year or two of just gritting and doing the work that will bring you to many more opportunities. It's like I think about with artists a lot of the time. If you look at any furry artists out there, and that includes fursuit makers, I'm going to include fursuit makers into this. There is a long road behind them of many hours, many minutes, many days, even many years of practice, experience, and working their way up to getting to that point. So you look at any fursuit maker today that is what we would call, I guess, a major league hitter in the fursuit maker realm, or the up and comers of fursuit making. See these people oftentimes, and it could be anything. It could be an artist, a fursuit maker, it could be a content creator, it could be a writer, whatever. Um, have you ever noticed that they just seem to come out of nowhere? Like, they seem like they just popped up, or something of theirs went viral, or something like that, and all of a sudden they're all the rage. They're all the rage. I don't know. They're they're like they're they're hot. Like, they're on fire right now, and people are noticing their work more and more. And then you hear about them and, like, whoa, where did they come from? Well, the truth is, they came from a very, very long line of experience, of practice, of, many sleepless nights, many days where all they had to do, or all that they were doing, was trying to perfect that craft because they wanted to. I believe it was John Mayer, the musician, who said, "How did I get so good? How do people wonder why I got so good to play guitar?" And that is, I had to play the same note over and over and over again until I got it. And in the same way, there's another quote that I love. It's from the rapper NF. And he says in one of his songs, clearly this: "You keep on thinking that artist is new, but that artist has probably been at it for years." And he would be right. So I could sit here and tell you right now, like, the main YouTube channel that you see with all the ASMR and all the goodies over there, that took many years of trying to find what I wanted to do for YouTube. And I'll tell you right now, my first YouTube channel that I ever made was back in 2010, I believe. And what I was doing, I was making gaming videos. I was making commentary gaming videos because that's what everybody was doing back then. I wanted to be a gaming commentator. I wanted to be a YouTube career man who made YouTube Partner and would make videos every single day like you would see every other YouTuber doing at the time, and still to this day doing. But a lot of those videos I just wasn't happy with. I didn't feel it. So I switched to something else. It wasn't until 2011 that I created the channel that you see now, the main channel that you see now. And a lot of those videos back in those days from like 2011 to 2013 or so, they were goofy. They were very poorly edited, poorly shot. I had my V1, my, version 1 of my fursuit that didn't look very good, if I'm being honest. And they had a certain vibe to them. And I didn't really like that vibe. So, not only that, but at that time I was graduating high school and I was going into college. So, I took a very prolonged break from that channel. And it wasn't until 2020 that I revived that channel. And even then, it was a long haul to get it up and running again. It took a couple years until I found my niche once again, my niche, however you say it, once again, and figuring out what I wanted to do with it. I tried to go with the same old of like skit videos and sketch videos and making it into something that I really didn't feel happy with. Because I thought because, in all honesty, that's all I knew at the time. That is all I knew at the time what to do. Making the talkie commentary videos, making the sketch videos, storytime videos, and don't get me wrong, I still like to do those. But it wasn't until somebody commented on one of those videos one time and they said, "Hey, you've got a pretty good voice. Have you tried ASMR?" I was like, I don't know about that, because I knew what it was. Like, I was aware of what ASMR was. And I thought it was honestly out of the question. I'm not an ASMR artist. I don't know what the heck I'm doing with this thing. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't even know how to start with this kind of thing. And so I was like, you know what? I'm a person who's willing to try new things, so I gave it a shot. My first couple ASMR videos, I didn't even speak. But, people seemed to like it. And then it wasn't until the third or fourth video that I actually started speaking in the videos. And from there, it just kind of took off. Like, I did not expect the reaction that those videos would get. The overall point being that you never know where you're going to be brought in a career or in a passion, or you never know what you're going to find in your path, right? I never thought for a second, like even back in 2010, I never thought that I'd be sitting in front of a camera in a big fluffy cat fox suit making videos, right? I never thought back in 2013 or even 2020 that I would be sitting down and using my voice and visual aids and elements and, different stimuli, I guess, to elicit a relaxing response for the viewer. ASMR. I had no idea. Like, that was something that I never thought possible. Yet here we are. And you see, that's what it took. It just took that one extra little step to make a difference, to try something new or to try something I never tried before. And from there, it went to a proportion that I never thought possible. So even if you're not sure what to do in your life, or with a career, or with a job, or a particular passion, sometimes all it takes is just a movement in some direction to give you an answer. You can move in any direction, because some people will get that roadblock that says, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do with my life. I have no idea what door to go through. Well, you know what? You have options. You have doors in front of you. Pick a door. You might find that you like where it leads. And if it's not to where you lead, or you want to lead, or it's not what you thought it would lead to, there are other doors to choose from. Oftentimes we feel like we're in a place where we can't choose. We can't decide what we want to do. But sometimes all it takes is a movement. It's like that song by Switchfoot. It's called Dare You to Move. And the lyrics say it, and the title alone says it right there. I dare you to move. Sometimes all it takes is just that one little movement, that one little change, that one little step to change your entire life, and to change your career, to change your outlook, and where you find yourself anew in a new place that you never thought possible. So I'm just letting you know that that's where I am right now. I'm looking at my career, I'm looking at my current job, and as cushy and comfortable and stable and all these things as it is, that doesn't mean that I have to stay there. I've heard it said once that older people in their, say, like 70s, 80s, maybe even older, when asked the question, what is their biggest regrets in life? And this is generalized, mind you, so take this with a grain of salt, but when asked the question, what are some things that you regret in life? A lot of them had the same answer. They regret not taking the chances or the risks, or taking those paths that they had the opportunity to and they didn't do it. And then they were asked about failures, like, do you regret any of your failures? And a lot of times they would say, not as much as I regret not taking those opportunities that were set in front of me before. So that's, I think, in my opinion, hearing that, it's a huge wake-up call. Like, when we don't take risks, it often hurts more, or it makes things worse in the future when we don't take that chance versus when we could have. So my challenging question to you is, what is that risk? What is that chance? What is that thing that's in front of you that maybe you're skeptical about? Maybe you're not sure about? Maybe you have, reservations about? Whatever the case may be. What is it that's in front of you that you feel like is stopping you? What is it that you're afraid to take a leap of faith of? I mean, the fact that, the fact that my coworker today, who, by the way, came up to me, who I've known to be at that job for the past 13 years, I think. He's a younger guy, but he's been at that job since high school. The fact that he came up to me and said that, and trusted me enough with that information, really spoke volumes. Because, like I said, he's someone that I never expected to hear that from. Like, he's thinking of going back to school and getting something that he's always wanted to get, and completing something that he's always wanted to. And it was very inspiring to hear, So if it's possible for that guy, it's possible for you too. And I'm not saying you have to go to college. I'm not saying that you need to do anything of the sort. I'm not saying that you need to drop everything and go do something else. No. Ask yourself, what do you really want to do? And once you have that answer, then you can ask yourself, okay, how do I get there? How do I get to that point? That place? What steps do I need to take to get to that place? So, yeah, I just thought I'd share that with all of you. It's just been on my heart lately. I hope that whatever is going on in your life, in your career, and your pathway, that you can find it within yourself to have those answers that you can get and that you need, and hopefully it's something that's feasible, which I imagine it will be, you know? I imagine that it will be. So think on it. Ask yourself, what would you really want to do? What do you really foresee yourself doing? What's a dream that you've always had, that you've always wanted to complete? You know? Am I settling? Am I too comfortable where I am? Do I feel like I'm too stable? Do I feel like I can't move? You know? And I'll tell you, that's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm too comfortable. I'm being honest with you. I feel like I'm too comfortable at the job that I am now. I feel like I have too much stability. I feel like I have too much, going for me at that job, as far as like not wanting to leave, Like, honestly, there'd be a lot of people who would want to be in this position, like a stable job, something with, a something with a, not, I don't want to say a lot, but like a stable income, for them to live. And speaking as a single person, it's very comfortable. Yet, that is the problem. You see what I'm saying? I want to seek discomfort. I want to seek a challenge. I want to go to a place that I've never been to before, and I want to see the different spaces in different parts of the world that I've never seen before. Whatever it takes, whatever that looks like. You know why? Because I want to live. I want to live. And staying in one place like this is definitely not doing anything to help myself improve. It's not doing anything to continue my advancement in any sort of career, for that matter, because I have been approached before at this job to become, like, to be in a position of management, and I've always turned them down because I don't particularly want to be management at this job. Why? Because I think the management style is very poor. I think that the way that a lot of things are run at this job are, in fact, not the way that they should be run. And I know some of you might be saying, well, wouldn't that give you more incentive to be a manager? Sure. I mean, I could see myself, in a sense, cleaning up the town, right? For lack of a better phrase. But at the same time, I know that if I become a manager at my current place of employment, then it would be harder to get out of. It would be harder for me to change over. It would be harder for me to seek that adventure that calls to me. And I know I could probably do some good there, but yeah, I would be really setting a lot of stones. I'd be stacking a lot of stones at this current job were I to take on a management position, right? And I think I plateaued. This job that I have, I think I plateaued there. I think I have stopped growing. I think I have done my time. I think I've put in my time, as cushy and stable as it is. I think I put it in, and I think that it's time to move on because I've felt it in my bones. I'm getting bored, and I'm getting dissatisfied, and I'm getting so comfortable to the point that I don't want to move. And I don't like that feeling. I don't. I need to seek those challenges. I need to seek those new paths because they're out there and they're just waiting to be traveled. I believe it was Robert Frost who said, "Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and I took the road less traveled." Let me just, I'm going to double check myself on that, just to be sure. Let's see. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. It is Robert Frost. Okay, I thought so. So it goes like, and this is like, some of you have probably heard this in school, but I think it's worth repeating here. So the poem is by Robert Frost, and it goes, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So that last line, I took the one road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So, what is your road? What is our road? What road are we taking? Is it the road most traveled? Is it the wide path that leads to destruction, or is it the narrow path that leads to life? What road are we taking? And the road that we're on, are we too comfortable? Are we too set? Are we too satisfied? Because eventually satisfaction wears, and then we end up becoming dissatisfied. So, as I continue to wrestle with this, I hope that you got something out of it. And I hope that, in this coming year, as you're thinking about your continuing, well, I should say, continuing to think about your path in life and what you want to do, as hard as it may seem to come by, what road what road is less traveled by you, and what road is more preferably traveled by you? That's something that I'll continue to think on. That's something that I'll continue to wrestle with, like I said, and as we go on together, as I continue to update this, and as I continue to have this conversation with you, like we have been, I'll be sure to share with you the results of my findings and continue on the way that I always have been, but hopefully in a way that I can be proud of in the future. So, but don't worry, I will continue to still make videos. I'll continue to stream. I'll continue to do all the same things that you've been seeing, in on this crazy platform we call YouTube. And I just want you to know that every single day I am thankful so much for all of you who have been so supportive here and on the main channel and Twitch and other social media sites. The fact that I get to do this is a gift, and the fact that you help me live the stream every single day is an absolute blessing to me. And I would not be here without any of you. And that's the truth. So I'll continue to do what I do. I'll continue to, work and produce and make things. And the reason, because I love doing it. Not because I have to, but because I feel like one day this will maybe turn into a career and I can stop working. No, I don't want that. What I want to do is make a difference. What I want to do is to be there for you, even if I don't know you. Be there as a voice, be there as a support, be there as a help, as the friend that you have, that you may not talk to very often, but is always there, to hear you and to listen and to give you, that comfort that you need in those times that you need it the most. So, like I said, that's a gift that you all have given to me, and I could not thank you enough for it. Truly. So, other than that, the other things that, and I'll run through this real quick, but the other thing that's been on my heart lately is I've been thinking about responsibility. You know, the amount of responsibility that oftentimes comes with this territory, it can be a lot sometimes. To be supportive, to, to basically, it can be a lot of weight to carry, because there's a lot of people that you're out there entertaining. There's a lot of people that rely on you for things, and there's a lot of people who um, require a lot from you. And I'm not saying that in a way that they sound demanding, but I'm saying that in a way that, how do we look at that? When you're in a position like this, there tends to be a lot of eyes in your direction, and with that comes with a lot of pressure. One misstep and you could ruin everything, right? So, responsibility, keeping yourself in check, you making sure that you're in a place that allows you to be yourself, but also allows for honesty, right? So that's why I do this. That's why I do this podcast, is because I want to be honest with you. I want to be transparent. I want to be able to speak to you in ways that I can't otherwise do on my other platforms, right? So I just want to be honest with you and say that a lot of times this can be overwhelming. It can be a lot to shoulder, you know? Everything from the videos to the streams, even to this, the podcast sometimes, it can be a lot. Like even tonight I was thinking, like after I streamed, I was like, "Oh man, I got to record a podcast. I can't miss it this time, you know?" I definitely don't want to miss it either, but you know, the fact of the matter is I want to do it and I want to continue it. But at the same time, it can be a lot. It can be a lot of responsibility. It can be a lot to take on. But I think it's all about your perspective, how you handle it, how you treat it, how you treat those around you, and how you treat your audience, most of all. So I definitely don't want to be one of those people, one of those content creators who, all they do is do what they do for money or fame or for, I guess, recognition. Um, I just want you to know that if at any point that you feel like I'm getting full of myself, that you see me getting full of myself, that you start to see an ego, that you start to see a behavior that, constitutes a slap, right? Um, or if you see a particular behavior pattern that says all Samson cares about is fame, money, status, any of that, right? I want you to do me a favor. Unsubscribe. Unfollow. That's not who I am. And that's not who I intend to be either. And by all means, if you see any of those behavior patterns, I'm asking you, for accountability. Please call me out. The minute you see any sort of behavior that says that all I care about is money, fame, or status, or, that maybe shows that I'm completely ignoring, the needs of you, the audience, the viewers, the listeners, please, I'm giving you permission. Call me out. Because that is not my intention. Be it a lot of responsibility and be it a lot of weight to carry sometimes, that's not why I'm here. I'm here because of the difference that needs to be made in the world. I'm here because there are a lot of lives out there who need positivity and they need They need that special someone to tell them that it's going to be okay. They need that voice sometimes that says that they are worth it, that they are needed, that they belong here, and that they mean so much more than they realize in this world. And they can be themselves. They can be who they are, and no one can take that from them. So that's why I'm here. If at any point you don't see that anymore, please call me out. I need it. So I hope that made sense. I hope that wasn't too confusing. And yeah, especially that last part. I'm just letting you know that it can happen to the best of us. We all have that potential to have a big head, to be someone that we're not, or to just completely ignore the original intent and purpose behind our starting this mission or this career or whatever the case may be. It's not who we are. It's not who we're meant to be. What we're meant to do is that purpose that has been set out for us, whatever that may be. It's not to have a big head. It's not to be selfish. It's not to clout chase. It's not for money. It's not for fame. It's not for status. And it's certainly not for that creator. Not just for that creator, I should say. But it's for you, the audience. It's for you, the listeners, the viewers, those who are there, the supporters. It's all for you. And I want to continue that as much as possible. I want to continue to be that person as much as I can be. As hard as it may be sometimes, it's definitely worth every second. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. So, as we end this, I just want to remind you, remember your greatness from small beginnings. Remember your sick Parvis Magna. Don't forget the people who brought you up and who stood by you and who still stand by you to this day. Never forget your origins and where you came from. And never forget your roots, because a lot of times that's where we find our motivation, and that's where we remember our purpose is from the beginning and why we started doing what we do. And in the same way, remember to be you, to be yourself. Remember to never let anyone tell you who you can and can't be or what you can and can't do. Remember that you are worth it. You have a purpose set out for you to fulfill. And there has never been anyone like you in the past. There will never be anyone like you in the future. And there is no one like you right now. Only you can do the things the way that you can, the way you do best. And no one can take that away from you. So until next time, this is Samson Kitty Fox. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this conversation that you and I get to have together. I love you all, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye. Bye-bye. Love you. Meow.